Okay, let me tell you a little more about this story before I get to do this again. My mother's little brother, Gerald, has been my favorite uncle for as long as I can remember. And I remember being like 2.5, 3 years old, and sneaking in and getting his boots and putting them on, and they looked like hip waders on me, and I would try so hard to walk in them. And I remember thinking that I could not wait to grow up big enough to wear a pair of his boots, and I would wear his cowboy hat too. And he had horses and stuff, and he literally was a real cowboy. And I would still, to this day, can remember hearing him come walking through the house with his spurs on. And the jingle of those spurs with every step that he took just fascinated me. And I have 4 or 5 pairs of spurs in my house, and I just put them on sometimes, walk around with them. Because they sound so cool. TMI.
Are you wearing anything else?
Well, you guys are sick. I thought I was bad looking at that mirror.
You were.
Well, my Uncle Gerald would come riding up on his horse, and I'd be standing out in my grandmother's yard, and he'd lean down out of the saddle and grab me by the arm and just sling me up behind him and I'd spur that horse, and we'd take off running. It scared the hell out of me, but I loved it at the same time. It was like an adrenaline rush. And he was always the black sheep of the family, and now I'm kind of stepped in and don't tell my mama I'm a guitar picker. She thinks I'm still in jail. But I don't know why my Uncle Gerald took a liking to me, but we've always been close. And when I was at my grandma's house on Saturdays, we would sit and watch all these wonderful westerns, and they would start early in the morning, and I'd get up early and watch them. He'd come rolling in about 10:30, and he'd look at me and go, "Got some westerns on?" And it's like, "Yes, sir." And he'd been out drinking and carousing the night before, so couldn't wait to grow up and be like him. Cheers! Come on, tequila, help me, don't hurt me. Favorite Uncle Gerald's been my hero all along, 'cause he was born to be a cowboy, like I was born to sing my songs. Watch them all on Saturday, dreaming of a life like that, driving cattle up the Chisholm Trail, boots and spurs and hats. Like Glenn Ford and Henry Fonda, Ben Johnson and John Wayne, Stuart Lee Marvin, Rawhide and Wagon Train, Maverick and Sugarfoot, Unspoken Lawman, Old Gerald and Slim Pickens helped me be the man I am. Me and Pete were born to be a couple thousand miles apart, but I suspect there was some magic working on us from the start. But you can't see what destiny has planned along your path, wanting people in and people out, and you just get used to that. I can't speak for Pete about what makes him tick at all, but I've been wearing cowboy hats as long as I recall. Pete's from Arizona, so it must come naturally. When he showed up in his hat, I swear he looked a lot like me. Like Glenn Ford and Henry Fonda, Ben Johnson and John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart and Lee Marvin, Rawhide and Wagon Train, Maverick and Sugarfoot, Hoss and Little Joe. Some fellows wear their cowboy hats about everywhere they go. Walked into the bar where I was playing in Key West. Those chapeaus were sure to set us both off from the rest. We wore a cowboy hat that day, and I had mine on too. Said, let's swap with one another. I think that's what old cowboys do. I had my Shady Brady, one I'd loved for quite a time. He had on a Lone Star, looking every bit as fine. So I took his and he took mine, and with a handshake that was that. It's how I come to sit before you now in Pete Ferralli's hat. Like Glenn Ford and Henry Fonda, Ben Johnson and John Wayne, Masterson and Wyatt Earp, Johnny Reb and Wagon Train, Maverick and Sugarfoot, Hoss and Little Joe. I wear Pete Ferralli's hat out everywhere I go. Like Ben and Fonda, Ben Johnson and John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart and Lee Marvin, Rawhide and Wagon Train, Maverick and Sugarfoot, Hoss and Little Joe. If you have friends in cowboy hats, you know where you can't go. We'll get it down. Sooner or later we'll get it right. You know, I have to tell you that it is so hard to sing a song where you have a personal connection, and you look that person in the eye, and then, man, that horse runs.